The Regional Psychosocial Support Forum was held recently in Johannesburg, co-hosted by the SADC, REPSSI, UNICEF and the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund. The relevance of this gathering was demonstrated by the high caliber of the delegates attending the 3 days of discussions.
This forum is very important because, as you know, as we have spoken earlier, there are quite a lot of children who are vulnerable in this country and in Africa in general because of the impact of HIV and AIDS. And these children, although they need material support such as health, education and food and shelter, but they need psychosocial support so that because they are affected mentally and emotionally.
This meeting is a landmark for us. It's the first time that as a region we have met different partners, our governments, experts from all over to discuss on issues around psychosocial support.
UNICEF has always recognized PSS as a crucial part of care and support, especially for children in vulnerable situations. Now, for us, what this means is that PSS is now recognized within the region as a critical part of, of models of intervention. And what I like is that PSS needs models of care that take care of, one's past and cultural, base, needs it with their current context in preparation for the future.
UNICEF is particularly keen to see adolescent issues emerging so prominently in this agenda. It is vitally important that we remember in our program strategies that vulnerable children are adolescents, include adolescents, most of whom are sexually active, and it is critical that we address adolescent sexual and reproductive health issues, not only in psychosocial support, but also in our broader protection care and support programs overall.
On behalf of SADC Secretariat, I would like to express sincere gratitude to our partners and all those supporting many of our activities. Let me also assure you that SADC Secretariat considers partnerships with civil society organizations, academic and research institutions, and international cooperating partners as critical to realize the regional integration agenda. In fact, the special SADC program on OVC and Y was established with the support of REPS and other partners.
Love, care and support, it's not a privilege, it is a right. And if they realize anyone who is interfering with that right, they need to express that and speak out. Love, care and support, it's a right.
If my fellow beneficiaries were here with me today, they would agree with me that going into a mainstream school is not a walk into a path, but it is like being a small fish in a huge ocean. It began with people staring at us as if they never seen people like us in their lives. Secondly, our academic performance dropping from 100% that we were used to achieving to a mere 40%. The problem was also when we had to go and get our food, since we had to stand in a queue. But believe you me, my fellow beneficiaries and I survived the challenges because we got support, which made us believe that light is seen at the end of the tunnel.
We believe that children must have a voice in issues that are meant to change their lives, and they must have a say in decisions that are meant to help them. And also we recognize that it is now internationally recognized, in policies that children have a right to have a say in whatever, decisions are made about their lives. So for us, we also believe that, children are not adults, and they feel their space, they feel their challenges in a way that adults may not understand. Therefore, we need to listen, to hear from them what would work for them, and we should work together.
Psychosocial is everything. It's what differentiates us from a piece of wood. It's everything. How you feel about what happens is everything. It's not just a procedure or a pill or a diagnosis. It's life. It's everything. It includes mental health. It includes well-being. It includes cognitive functioning, development, going to school and getting these achievements. It can be affected by psychosocial input, but it can be affected by other input, by food, by good schooling, by transport, by all sorts of things.
What's so different about HIV/AIDS? Why is it somehow worse in these studies for children whose parents have died of AIDS than for children who've died of all sorts of other causes, or whose parents are sick with other causes? We can see here this kind of killer combination of stigma, bullying, poverty, care and mental health, care and disability levels, and abuse. But one of the key risks we can see is bullying. And AIDS-affected children are much more likely to be bullied, and chronically bullied children, as you can see from our data here, are much more likely to have severe mental health problems.
When you talk about psychology, I'd also like you to remember that this is normal people. When you're thinking about HIV particularly, these are normal people in abnormal situations. And that's the challenge. This isn't dealing with people, maybe in some cases there are people who are having different kinds of problems, but for the main part, people have been set up into very, very difficult situations, and their human response is very, very difficult.
Children also stress. Children also have issues that they want to talk about. Children have questions that they want answers for. Children have the need for love. Children should not be abused. And if we are providing for the other material and physical support to the children, and we leave out the emotional requirements, the need for love, protection, and care, we'll be missing out. And so for us, psychosocial care and support is a right for every child.
We must ensure we become better at sharing our best practices and our lessons, at exchanging more effectively between each other. And following this conference, we very much hope to see an effective and engaged community of practice emerging from our discussion of this agenda.
We've always recognized that the challenges that we are faced with are not necessarily national, they are actually regional. And the fact that we're now moving into the region recognizes that we have to share our experiences and learn from each other.
REPSSI, I say well done, but there's still a lot to do. We need to ensure that this is rolled out, their program is rolled out in all the countries, and that everyone at community level knows about the work that they do, and they're trained and skilled to provide the service.
Lessons learned for sure that through partnerships you can do more. There is always something that a partner can bring to the table. The other thing is we are all doing the same things towards ensuring that children have their rights realized. And so that requires bringing together different partners, because child well-being cannot be possible if we have sectoral approaches that are not integrated. So the lesson learned is being able to have a common cause and have clear mechanisms for coordinating these partnerships, as well as some technical arrangements being in place for actually steering the processes going on.